Today is a Wednesday, November 1, 2023. Israel-Gaza Conflict, Day 26. Key events. The Houthis have launched a relentless barrage of ballistic missiles against Israel, boldly declaring their fearlessness in the face of any nation, vowing to persist until Israel halts its aerial offensive. Israel has activated the aero defense system for the first time to counter the Houthi missile onslaught. Hezbollah issued a deadline to Israel, which expires on Friday at 12 noon. The conflict between Israel and Gaza is the main development. Rearmost developments: Palestinian fighters and Israeli forces are engaged in clashes south of the Zeitoun neighborhood, southeast of Gaza City. An Israeli ministry has drafted a wartime offer to transfer the Gaza Strip's 2.3 million people to Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. While Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office played down the report by the Ministry of Intelligence as an academic exercise, a Hamas prophet rejected this relegation. Egypt will allow 81 Palestinians in Gaza, who were oppressively wounded in the weeks of hail, to enter the country for complete treatment, according to the Palestinian border authorities in Gaza. The decision came after Egypt condemned Israel's attack on the Jabalia exile camp. First civilians from Gaza enter Egypt through Rafah border crossing. Injured civilians have entered Egypt from the Gaza Strip for the first time since the terror attacks carried out by Palestinian militant group Hamas against Israel on October 7. The number of those who have covered the crossing wasn't incontinently clear. Further than 500 foreign citizens are anticipated to enter the Rafah crossing, the Clerk General of the Red Crescent in North Sinai told NBC News. It's the first time foreign passport holders have been allowed to leave their homes since the launch of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Mortal impact and fighting: up to 400 people were killed or injured in the Israeli air raid on the Jabalia exile camp in northern Gaza, according to Hamas. The Ministry of Health said no less than 50 individuals were killed in the assault that ignited a worldwide shock. Israel has expanded its ground operations in Gaza lately, with tanks and army engaged in battles with Palestinian fighters around the Gaza City in the northern section of the Strip, measuring 10 km by 41 km, 6 long hauls by 25 long hauls. Palestinian Health Ministry prophet advised that the main power creators at the Al-Shifa hospital complex and the Indonesian hospital in Gaza are hours down from running out of energy and fully shutting down. Tactfulness: Bolivia has cut political relations with Israel to condemn the Israeli service descent in the Gaza Strip. Also, Minister of the Presidency Marianela Prada blazoned the country would shoot philanthropic aid to Gaza. Two other Latin American countries, Colombia and Chile, have also recalled their ministers for consultations to condemn mercenary deaths in Gaza and to call for a ceasefire. Further than 8,500 people, substantially women and children, have been killed in grim Israeli bombing since October 7. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will visit Israel on Friday for gatherings with individuals from the government authority and furthermore make different stops in the area, as per the Department of State. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE gave individual proclamations criticizing the strikes on the Jabalia camp. Hamas says further than 33 dog faces were killed in battles deep inside Gaza, as military risk mounts. Gallant says bitter combat taking a heavy risk, but hails significant achievements. Dispatches in Gaza cut again as ground and air ops continue overnight. 13 dog faces were killed in fighting deep inside the Gaza Strip on Tuesday, Israeli authorities blazoned early Wednesday, bringing the day's death risk among colors to 15 as leaders advised of the heavy risk being paid by colors to exclude the Hamas terror group. Israeli forces continued to attack targets overnight and on Wednesday from the ground and air, killing dozens of members of the terror group, the Israel Defense Forces said. Exertion appeared to be concentrated in Jabalia, a Hamas fort on the outskirts of Gaza City, pounded by airstrikes overnight and again during the day Wednesday. 11 dog faces from the Givati Infantry Brigade's Zabar Battalion were killed when a Namur armored labor force carrier they were in was hit by an anti-tank guided bullet fired by Hamas, the IDF said. Another 4 dog faces were wounded in the same incident, including one seriously. They were named as SGT. Adi Danan, 20, from Yavne, Staff SGT. Halel Solomon, 20, from Dimona, Staff SGT. Erez Mishlovsky, 20, from Oranit, Staff SGT. Adi Leon, 20, from Nili, CPL. Ido Avadia, 19, from Tel Aviv, CPL. Lyar Simonovich, 19, from Hertlia, Staff SGT. Roi Dai, 20, from Jerusalem, 2NDLT. Pedea Mark, 22, from Etnil, Staff SGT. Roi Sargosti, 20, from Ramat Hanijah Regional Council, Staff SGT. Ida Yehuda, 20, from Rishon Lezion, and Staff SGT. Shea Arvaz, 20, from Holon. 2 further dog faces from the 77th Battalion of the 7th Armored Brigade LT. Ariel Reich, 24, from Jerusalem, and CPL. Asif Luger, 21, from Yagur, was killed when their tank drove over an explosive device. Another 2 colors were seriously hurt in the same incident. A dog face from Givati's Rotem Battalion was seriously wounded in separate clashes with terrorists in the Gaza Strip, the IDF said. Mark was the son of Rabbi Michael Mark, who was killed in a 2016 West Bank firing attack. He was relatively hurt in that attack. On Tuesday night, the IDF blazoned that Staff SGT. Roi Wolf, 20, from Ramat Gan, and Staff SGT. Lavi Lipschitz, 20, from Modin, who served in the Givati Infantry Brigade's surveillance unit, had been killed. The army said early Wednesday that the 2 failed when a structure they were in was hit by an RPG. The casualty risk underscored the pitfalls dog faces are facing as the army shifts to fraught civic combat in Gaza's crowded thoroughfares after weeks of a chastising air crusade. The civic combat zone is allowed to be awash in losers and booby traps and undercut by a vast network of coverts used by terrorists to ambush or surprise cullers. The loss of IDF dog faces in battles with Hamas terrorists in Gaza is a severe and painful blow, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant posted on X, formerly Twitter, on Wednesday morning, transferring his condolences to the families of the fallen. Our significant achievements in the important fighting deep in the Strip are taking, to our anguish, a heavy risk, he said. But he pledged that Israel was ready for a long and complex operation. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel.